These sons of people, they're sons and daughters of people. You know what I'm saying? Spent $300 million, 30% of a trillion, three of a billion, excuse me, $300 million on ads in advance of this caucus to dissuade American citizens from voting for President Trump, from supporting Trump. 300 million. Trump spent 18 million, in the lead up to the Iowa caucus. So what do we have here? We got really giant, phenomenal money out of control. People that have so much money they don't know what to do with it. So they throw it into politics. It makes them feel good. They get to determine the outcome of the future. They think they're buying the future. They're buying a future where the paradigm that exists today, and I call that paradigm slavery, drugs, and piracy, continues because they're the masters of that paradigm. They're at the top of the pyramid. The money's flowing uphill and the shit's flowing downhill. And they want that maintained. And they got their guy, Ron DeSantis. They got their girl, Nikki Haley. Now, we can say, and I'm going to say, Trump, you can come up with a lot of flat spots on Trump. I could go over the hill on Trump like that. The thing that keeps me looking at Donald Trump, and I'm not shilling for Trump, the thing that keeps me up on him is they hate this guy. Man, has this guy got resistance against him. So for some reason, I mean, it's either one of the biggest psyops in world history, like we hate this guy, but we're going to elect him, and then he's going to finish us off. And I say this because it's a possibility. Or they really hate him because they're afraid of him, and I think they are afraid of him. Now, I think Trump is also a military-industrial complex guy, but there's two ways to use every power, to heal and to kill. And we will remember just a few years ago, 4 years of peace. There was no big conflicts. Trump clipped out Soleimani and he beat down ISIS. But in the great scheme of things, in comparison, because you're only good or bad by comparison, the world was a much more peaceful and a much more prosperous place under a President Trump than it is under the current President Biden. So Trump was able to turn the uni party into a perspective that was better for us, the American citizens. That's just the way it is. Now, I'm going to tell you, these donors, whoa, are they spending money to make sure Trump never gets back in? 300 million. I mean, the 300 million is just unbelievable. You know, these people have names. I mean, they really do have names. And you can go look up some of these people and how much money they're spending. There's a dude named Jeff Yass, one of the wealthiest people in the world, an early investor in the Chinese app TikTok. This guy put in $2.6 million to the Florida Governor's State Committee earlier this year. $2.6 million. This guy has enough money that he can write a check to a PAC for $2.6 million. $2.6 million. I bet everybody watching me for $2.6 million could retire. And this guy's got so much he can give it away. Man, I wish he liked me. He could write free people a check for $2.6 million. Then we could do some real damage. I think it's important for us to understand that we have a political culture that's predicated on obscene money spending. Now, these people know how to make money doing this. These people are business people. They're not stupid. They don't just give this money away. They're looking for a return on investment. That's the part us little people don't get. If somebody's a billionaire and they write a check for $5 million, they know how to turn that into cash. They're going to get that back somehow. I don't know how because I don't have that money. I just know how it works. People that have that kind of money are good with money. They're focused on money. That's all they think about. That's why they have so much of it. So when they invest it in something, they're doing it for a return. They're doing it for a risk-adjusted rate of return. And our whole political system runs this way. And this is because we allow it to be that way. Think about what's happened. Now, we have social media. We have social media. Social media will allow any candidate to interact with the American people and not spend any money. Just be on social media. Just develop a following on social media. Disseminate their ideas through their appearances in social media. This is a tremendous change in the distribution of ideas. That's why there is so much pushback across an entire spectrum of people, including Nikki Haley, to monitor and, of course, Nikki Haley. She's a representative like DeSantis of the military-industrial complex. You know, one could say that Trump, Haley, and DeSantis are the same person. They all support empire. But there's a difference. Here's the difference. Trump says it can roll along just in case, but we're going to have peace and prosperity for the American people. These two are going to get us killed. These two are going to take all of our money. These two want to use the inventory up. Trump just wants to buy inventory and stock it up. These people want to keep spinning that inventory by killing people. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. If you're a Ron DeSantis person, I'm going to read this to you again because it's time for a wake-up. I'm going to read it exactly correct. Please bear with me because I'm not picking on everything Ron DeSantis says. A lot of what he says and does is fantastic. This is disqualifying. I don't support a draft, and that's today. Because when they run out of people and we're at war, my young producer Ellie is going to get a number, and then he's going to get a call, and then he's going to be in the Middle East getting killed. I don't even know him that well. I don't even like him that much. We haven't worked that much time together. But I'll tell you, I like him enough that I don't want to see his head blown off in an illegitimate war so that someone can make money. If it was legitimate war, I would go. But to see a bunch of fat cats get fatter and take my freedoms away, I object. Ron DeSantis, I don't support a draft, but our military recruitment is at a generational low. I think the way you solve this is to inspire young Americans to want to serve. Okay, that is disqualifying for Professor Penn. I don't want my children serving the military-industrial complex. I do not want my children serving the illegitimate aims of technocrats that are playing a game that has nothing to do with their well-being. We've been scammed for hundreds of years, thousands of years with this, and all we have to do is wake up. There's billions of us and a handful of them. Now, they're going to try to stay in power, but we need to turf them out and replace them with young, charismatic politicians, men and women, white and black, tall and short, fat and thin, all with one thing in common: an effort to pursue and ensue sacred honor in their own lives and their own political action. We're missing sacred honor in our political participants, and what we get from that is an open wound of a border, debt, and war. They don't care about us. If you're a political figure and you're elected, and you're not making the life of the average American citizen better, you suck. You've broken the social compact. Donald Trump has proven that he will do some things for the American people. And these people in charge of the Republican Party just can't understand why anybody would support Donald Trump. In fact, I saw tweets where people would say, no Christian person should support Donald Trump because he's a sinner. This is ridiculous, because that's like saying Ron DeSantis is a better person than Donald Trump. What do we know about what Ron DeSantis does in the middle of the night? I don't know what his sins are. I know what Donald Trump's sins are because he's honest about them. People say, oh, this happened, that, yeah, I did. That's what I did. At least he's honest and upfront about his BS. The rest of these people are hiding. And there is no greater sin, in my opinion, than sending someone else's son or daughter off to die in an illegitimate war. That's a really high level of sinfulness, in my opinion.